Right on. What is up, podcast, and welcome to the Race Place Podcast Network. We have another amazing show for you today. You know, last year, Father's Day to be exact, last year, 2021, I got a very, very special gift. My wife was kind enough to reach out to the Whittier Woodworks, where my friend Ramiro here answered the call. And the question was, it was a very important question. My wife was like, I know you make beautiful cutting boards. There's no doubt about that. But can you put my husband's logo, this crazy face that I have here on my t-shirt, on the cutting board? And my friend Ramiro was like,
yes, we can do that.
He can do anything. This guy can do anything. He said yes. He stood up to the challenge and he created a beautiful board for me, which we'll see here in a few minutes. So today, again, my guest, Ramiro from Whittier Woodworks. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ramiro, you make beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boards. How did you start doing this stuff?
Well, with anything, we started when we got our house. I started doing stuff with the house. So we started fixing it up. We started collecting tools and stuff like that. So then I kind of got a feeling that I'm really enjoying the woodworking part of the aspect of it. So I did a patio table for the house. A friend and a family member liked it, so I made one for them. So we started with bigger pieces like that. And then I started making into, when I wanted to do my first pop-up, I can't take a big table. So I started making cutting boards, charcuterie boards, smaller stuff so that we could show. And then that's when we got into this.
Wow. Let's go back because a lot of us have houses. A lot of us, the doors are chipping, the woodwork, the molding's chipping. There's a lot of stuff. The house is constantly falling apart. And maybe we might go on YouTube and possibly, maybe if we're lucky, at least know how to buy the door. That's about as far as I get with it. You somehow know how to put these things together. You know how to mold them. You know how to shape them. You know how to make them better. So there must be something back where you figure you knew. How did you start to know about woodwork? It must have been earlier than that.
YouTube University. Everything's been YouTube. Everything that I've learned, everything by watching other woodworkers, like on Instagram, watching their YouTube videos. Everything that I've learned in regards to woodworking has been on YouTube. We've never took wood shop in high school. They never offered it in my high school, so I never did any of that. The handsy part, I've always been more of a DIY guy, working on cars, growing up, like I was working on my car. But with woodworking, it's always been YouTube videos.
Holy moly. So this is a very, very unique situation here. So you must be really good with your hands. You must be very good at like kind of like an engineering type of mind, I would say. And because man, to go from just getting being good with your hands, but then getting into wood. My dad was a carpenter for 25 years, and he was a craftsman, like old school wood craftsman. He did a lot of stuff on people's houses that most people couldn't do. So it boggles my mind when people like you are able to work on wood and do the stuff you do, and you just figured it out on YouTube. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean everything. There's a lot of good videos, a lot of good people that make stuff like that. People say like that. I'm not a craftsman. Everything I'm doing, I'm still learning as I'm going. But yeah, it's just a more of a taking in that knowledge, and in the end, it's doing it, just making it. And you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna make errors, but eventually, you're gonna be good enough to start making more stuff.
Wow! So what you're saying is there is hope for us.
There's hope for everyone. Yes.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, so you can continue to watch those YouTube videos, and one day you might be as good as woodwork as Ramiro. One day that might happen. Now, when my wife decided to call you and say, "Can you put this crazy face with this taco?" Some people call it a chip on the board. Did you have any doubt in your mind at all when she called you?
No, I mean, we purchased a CNC not too long ago for the simple fact that I wanted to do stuff like this.
What's it called?
A CNC, router CNC. So it's basically you put something on a computer, you make a program for it, and it'll carve it out, especially with these types of designs. Before, I used to do it by hand with names, engraving names and stuff like that. But with something like this, a little bit more intricate, then I purchased one of those, and it's another thing to learn, like learning how to put it from the computer, from a picture file, changing the file so that the CNC will be able to run. And that's just another thing that, we learn how to do.
Wow. So you have a router, a basic router. It's like this round thing that has a bit in the center to give people an idea, right?
Right.
This one that you have, a particular CNC device or router, actually connects via USB to a computer?
Correct. So then it has its own program file on the computer. We transport the picture, then we turn it into an SVG file. And then from there, we put it in the USB, plug it into the machine, press start, and it'll start carving it out for you.
Wow. So pretty much the sky's the limit when it comes to design. You could pretty much do anything that you can put into the computer.
You could always tweak the design. So sometimes it's kind of like a negative space. So you kind of have to figure out if you want, like in yours, do you want, let's say, the chip to pop out more, or do you want the background to pop out more? So it's figuring out which works better for the specific logo.
I think you can see it there. Mine is a little rust for wears, as they say. It's I've definitely used mine, Ramiro. I've definitely put this to the test. It came to me beautiful, but I just worked it. I mean, I literally used it. I put it to the test. I cut on this thing. I put slabs of meat on this thing. I seasoned on this thing. I washed it, done all kinds of things to it. This is after I use this thing so much in the kitchen. And I left it the way it is from my kitchen, all dirty, all used up. It's got this beautiful design here. What do people do once they get it to this? Let me show you guys how the design looks. First of all, look at that. I don't know how he was able to put my face, my logo, everything, that negative space that you were talking about, everything on it. And there's beautiful lines already. The board's already beautiful as itself. What do people do once it gets to this point where, I've had it for a while. I've used the heck out of it. I've cut on it like crazy. What do we do when we get to this point and we need to kind of like refreshen it? Because you got to care for these things, right? You can't just have these things and use them. There's a special care that you need to do to these every once in a while, right?
Correct. So we always tell people, whenever they purchase a cutting board from us, it's finished in food grade mineral oil. So just with anything, it doesn't dry. So after always a couple of washes, you'll start feeding it more of the wood fibers. And we always tell people just reapply some more food grade mineral oil. They could find it at Home Depot, Target, Walmart, anywhere. If they want something better, then they could always reach out. We could always point them in the right direction. But anything with, even with beeswax will give it a nice sheen. It'll protect it a little bit nicer. And it's just a matter of reapplying it. And we could always show you how to do it. We'll just add a little bit, rub it in, and it'll soak in whatever it needs.
Wow. So food grade mineral oil or beeswax will help it out. I don't feel anything at all. Nothing. So if people get, you've seen it where people get crazy enough where they cut into it, digged into it so much that some of the wood fibers, you can feel it.
Yeah. You start feeling it a little bit more drier. Like with this one, I finished it with beeswax, with mineral oil beeswax mix. So that's why you're not able to feel a lot of the wood fibers. But even the one we have at home, even though I have it at home, we don't treat it at all. And you feel a little bit rougher, but it still works. It hasn't given us any issues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just about the look. Like, you can cut on this thing till it freaking, I've been at barbecue competitions and seen the old man barbecue guy, and it's like concave from all the cutting that he chops on it. So these are just ones that you use at home. And so every once in a while it just needs a touch up. So what are we going to do here?
So with this one, we're going to scuff sand it a little bit by hand just to try to smooth it out if there's any imperfections. We always try to wash it beforehand to remove any stains, and then sand it, and then we just reapply a food grade mineral oil.
All right, let's give it a shot.
The one I brought here has a beeswax in it, so it's a mineral oil beeswax.
I just put that on the camera. Mineral oil beeswax.
So that's Howard's. You could find it at Home Depot, Walmart, Target. You could buy it online, and yeah, it's the one that's more readily available.
Nice. All right. So that's Howard's Butcher Block Conditioner, food grade mineral oil. Fantastic. And Home Depot has that.
Correct. Yeah. So this one's I get it at Home Depot. I've ordered, like I said, there's plenty of other ones in the market. They have smaller ones from Atomic Finishes. Walrus Oil is another good company. It's all natural, all food grade stuff. The Milk Paint Company also has his own too. So there's a lot of companies out there, but the one that's more readily available for everybody would be the Howards.
Nice, fantastic. All right, show us how that works. Pour in a little bit on there.
Yep. So you don't need a lot. If anything, you just kind of rub it in by hand. It's like I said, it's food safe. So you could always use your a towel. You could use whatever you have in hand. But obviously, I have my hand available. So
you have your hand in hand. And already it's starting to get that color back.
Yeah, so it'll start slowly as it's absorbing it. It'll start getting more of its color back, and then, like I said, you just leave it on as it is. Leave it on a little bit. Let it soak in what it needs, and then we'll just come back with another paper towel and just remove any excess, whatever it doesn't take up. Then that's what we'll take off. And this is something that we offer everybody that buys one of our cutting boards. If at any point you use it, because a lot of people are, oh, it's too nice for you for me to use it. Like, I'm not going to use it. It's going to get all scratched up. And we always tell people, use it. If you want to use it as a serving board as well, all our boards are kind of double-sided. So you could always cut on one side and use the other side as a serving board. So this one is different because it has the rubber feet.
Oh, okay, right. Keep those rubber feet keep it from moving.
No, yeah, it keeps it from moving, especially because I know when your wife ordered it, she says that you're a big grilling guy.
Yeah,
if you're cutting or you're chopping,
I go to town on this.
Yeah, so
it's moving like this when I'm.
Yeah, so that's why we add the rubber feet. Other than that, the other boards that we have at our pop-ups, they don't have the rubber feet, so that's why they would be double-sided.
Oh, nice.
So you could always cut on one side, use the other side as a serving board. But if at any point you ever needed to get super scratched up, we always tell people, bring it back to us. You could always find us at another pop-up or just send us a message, drop it off. We'll sand it for you and then reapply it again.
What my wife did not tell me about this warranty guarantee that you got here, Ramiro. So you're telling me that I could have easily, throughout this whole year, could have walked to the Uptown Market pop-up with this in my hand and carried it to you, and you would have done the same process for no charge at all?
Correct. So that's why we always take this beeswax over there with us. Even some people were like, oh, what, can you apply a little bit before we take it? Sure. Walk around, we'll apply it while you're continuing shopping other vendors. We apply a little bit, let it soak in, and buff it out.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible service that you offer because, most people, they're not into, they may be into cooking, they may be into, serving, like you said, on the other side. But one thing they don't know about is wood, like how to care for wood. So that's amazing. That's amazing that you offer that service.
Yeah. Well, sanding, like I said, if it's super scratched up, if it's a matter of sanding, then we would have to take it home. And so we're local. You could always drop it off at our place, sand it down. We'll have it to you back in a day or two, and then oiled up, freshened up and everything. But if it's something about just applying it a little bit, if you don't have access to it, catch us up on one of our pop-ups and we're more than happy to do that.
Wow, that's awesome. That's an incredible service that you offer and totally free. How much is one of these boards, or the average cost of one of these boards?
So it kind of varies in price. So the logo alone itself is going to be about $25 to design it, to carve it out and everything. And on top of that would be the size of the board. So our standard boards are 12 by 16 and those run for about $55. Anything bigger than that is obviously will change depending on the size.
That's a great price. 12 by what?
12 by 16.
12 by 16 for $55, and then on top of that, a $25 fee for the logo.
For a logo like this, will be about $25. If it's engraving, we usually do it for like $10.
That's an incredible price. I've seen these things go for like $200.
Yeah, so the bigger ones, they do vary in price. So we've done bigger boards for some other barbecue guys. It's about $225, $250. It's way bigger, and then it has their logo on there too. We could do the epoxy. If you want to do a colored logo, we could do that too.
And you can pretty much do, like you said earlier, with your computer and that CGI. It's not called CGI. That's something else. But that crazy machine, you could put anything on this thing.
Correct. Yeah, we could always do, like I said, with another nice option would be color. So if you wanted to make this pop out even more, we could do like a green or like your shirt. Add the epoxy, sand it on. So everything that's carved would be filled in with a green food grade epoxy. That
would be sick. Like if this was orange right here in the carving, and then just like the face popped out or something like that, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's if we add it now, so everything that's carved out would be orange. So all of this would be orange, and then once we sand it down, it'll be smooth with the board, but you'll see the orange color.
That's crazy. That's a great idea that we just came up, and we actually might just make a little side deal after we're done with this. Okay.
Definitely.
Fantastic. And what about these lines here to get, because this is a different, or is this different wood inside the wood?
Correct. So I think for yours is going to be Purple Heart. I think it's African Mahogany and Paduk. So each color, nothing is stained with our board. So each color is a different type of wood. And with sun, with the sun hitting it, it will brown it out. But whenever you decide to do it, we could always sand it. When we sand it, then we start removing the first layer that was hit by the sun, and it'll start bringing out a little bit more color out of it.
Wow, so how do you get? I mean, what's the process like? It's so anybody can easily take a block of wood and maybe do this part with the Dremel tool or whatever, and be done. What's the process to get these pieces of wood inside this block of wood?
So with all our wood, we tend to get it either rough lumber. So we either get it from, it's also as well local lumber yards. We do Bonhoff lumber, we do Rio lumber in Anaheim. So we buy all our wood, and then it's a matter of making the wood straight, so that the only thing that's holding everything together is wood glue. So we put it in clamps, we clamp it up, and then we make the design that you want.
Wow. So what you're telling me is maybe this is one piece, these little pieces are here, and then this is another piece.
Yeah.
And then you clamp all this together?
Correct. So with yours, I had this big piece of walnut, and then I just cut it down just so that we could have the same color tone. And then I just cut up the design with the maple, the Paduk, the walnut, the Purple Heart, the African Mahogany, and Paduk. And then we glued it all back together.
Wow, that's incredible. So I got some African mahogany here, ladies and gentlemen. That is incredible. I got some wood from Africa, and this looks like one piece of wood. I was wondering about that. I was like, this looks like one straight piece of wood, and look at it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces basically glued together.
Yeah, correct. So it's one big walnut, and the maple, African Mahogany, Paduk, and Purple Heart. So as you can tell, the part that isn't being hit by the sun, you can still see the different colors.
Oh yeah, it's bright.
Correct. Yeah. So with this one, with anything wood product, the more the sun hits it, or the more it gets used, it's just going to get drawn out a little bit. So that's when we come in and we would sand it down to remove that little top layer, and then try to bring those colors back up.
Wow. Go ahead and finish what you're going to do here. What else are we going to do to this?
With this one, it's just a matter of removing any of the excess. So it's just a matter of paper towel, a little cloth, and just kind of buffing it out just to bring out the sheen of it.
Cool. Do you need a paper towel? You got it? A paper towel? Let me grab you a paper towel. All right. The paper towel is here.
Yeah, so like I said, we left it in there soaking in for a little bit, and it's just a matter of wiping off any excess. The board will take up whatever it needs, and then you're just wiping off any excess of it. It's all food safe, so even if it's not like you have to remove every single drop of it off, but it's just a matter of so you can handle it better. You won't feel oily on your hands.
Getting in all those grooves, making sure it's hit every piece of it. That's awesome.
And that's a thing that not an issue, but that's another thing that we look at whenever it's a piece that has a logo in it. Then making sure to, when we're sanding it or when we're trying to refinish it, not to remove the detail of the logo. And with you use it a lot more on this side and not on the logo itself. So that's always good because that way the logo will stand out more over a longer period of time.
Yeah, one thing I try to do is not cut on my beautiful face there.
Exactly. Yeah, so we just do that. Even with the epoxy, especially more so with epoxy, whenever somebody wants something engraved and they want the pop of color with epoxy, I always try to put it off to the side. So that way you still have the whole board to cook on it and it won't damage it or it won't look scratched up or anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just a matter of maintaining it. And so as long as you maintain it, it'll last you a long time. A lot of people are worried that it's going to fall apart because it's a wood product, but it's not. I mean, it's just a matter of maintenance. It's getting a plastic cutting board. It's less maintenance because all you have to do is wash it and put it away. And with these, it's a little bit more maintenance, but as having something natural like this in your kitchen will warm up your kitchen as well, but it's also a statement piece. I've had people that will come back and they say, "Oh, I love your cutting board. Every time we use it, people always compliment us on it." And it's nice, especially a cutting board. You could always use it, like I said, as a serving board, cutting board, and it's multi-purpose. Like you could use it for a lot of different things.
Yeah, there's a different feel to wood. I think chefs will agree with me. There's a different feel to cutting on wood than cutting on a plastic or like those wax plastic white cutting boards. Those ones don't give as much. It just feels really intense when you're cutting on a plastic board. It feels more natural on a wood. Cutting on a wood surface, it just seems to like give a little bit, or it feels more natural of a movement when you're cutting on a wood surface, number one. And number two, if you're an influencer like me and you're trying to do vids, like this is the board that I shoot on. This is the actual board that I do a lot of my food shots on, especially because it has the logo. The brand is right there in front of you. You see the brand on the video every single time while I'm doing my video shot. So it's a great handy tool for influencers as well.
Exactly. I've been fortunate enough to do a couple of different boards for a couple of different barbecue guys. Crazy Ben's Barbecue. We've done it for Also Good Barbecue, and it's always having a good logo there for you. Like you said, whenever you use it and you're going to take pictures on your Instagram, on your feed, or what have you, you have your logo, you have your picture right there in the food, and that's how you're identifying it yourself. Yeah,
this is a must for any barbecue guy, any cook that's wants to keep their brand in everything. I mean, it's a no-brainer to have a board with your logo on it. It's a gotta have. Thank God for my wife for getting me this. I'm so happy that she got me this. I'm so happy with the design as well. It's incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, no, when she came out, it was I think this was one of the first designs I did with that was this detailed or that was similar to this. The other times I've always been more like names. Like I said, Crazy Matt's was like a name with the forks, and then Also Good Barbecue also was a bear. I did for Fat Perps. It was a name as well. Nice. But I like doing stuff like this. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, this, we always take things to the next level over here at Raised Flaves. This took a little bit more work, right? There's more detail in it. The others might have just like a basic work. We got the whole crazy. It has to actually look like me, and it does.
No, yeah, and the same thing too. Like I modified it. I changed little things here and there, and then I remember sending it to your wife and said, "Well, what do you think about this one?" And she said, "Oh, can you make the chip stand out a little bit more?" So we mocked it up again, and then so it took us a couple of revisions until we were both happy with how it looked.
That's the great thing about her. She is my checks and balances. She is my quality control here at Raised Flaves. It'll definitely take you one or two, at least three times to get things right. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then like I said, if on my end, there's never a rush to get stuff done right away. I mean, same thing. If you guys are willing to make you guys happy with a board that you guys are going to be happy with, and that's it. I mean, as long as it's however long it takes, and that's how long it'll take.
And look at the quality. It's amazing. That's why she's amazing. That's why you're amazing. You guys got it down this time. Is there anything else we got to do this thing to have it ready for the next cook tomorrow?
No, that's it. That's all you really need. As long as after a couple of washes and you start feeling it feels a little bit nicer. As long as you keep this up, then it'll last you forever.
Awesome. I want to move the camera back up so we can see your beautiful face, Ramiro. Fantastic. So besides the cutting boards, I know I saw on the Instagram kind of these unique other pieces of wood that you, I don't know if you carve them or what, but you paint them like these amazing colors. Talk about those.
So we also, on top of cutting boards, we do, whenever we do a pop-ups, we started with, like I said, with bigger pieces like tables, benches, stuff like that. But whenever we have our pop-ups, we can take a whole table. So we take our cutting boards, we take our charcuterie boards, we have smaller pieces like bottle openers, the wall mount, the handheld ones. We make a couple of different things with the charcuterie boards. Are always good too because
what's it called?
A charcuterie board.
What's that? What is a charcuterie board? I'm not good with the culinary terms.
The charcuterie board is a serving board. It's a fancy way of saying a serving board. So it comes with a handle. It's a little bit longer, and it's for you to display like your meats, cheeses, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Charcuterie board. You guys got to get that charcuterie board. Fantastic. And what are the ranges on prices on the charcuterie boards?
With those, that's all. We make a couple of different sizes. So they start ranging from about $55 for standard like counter depth ones up to, we could get crazy with the live edge ones, and $275 for these big old feast boards that'll fit like a whole kitchen island.
Wow. And you make tables and stuff too? You can make tables?
Yeah. We've done, like I said, we started with making dining room tables. Chairs, we haven't done chairs because usually people like, buying chairs that'll go with the table that they end up liking. But we've done benches, so it's banquettes for like the smaller kitchens.
Wow, fantastic. It looks like you're going to be doing a lot of woodwork in my house for sure. Baguettes, benches, tables, cutting boards, charcuterie boards, I think you call them.
Charcuterie, yes.
Charcuterie, that's our new word. That's our new vocabulary word for serving cheeses and crackers and stuff to your friends. Guys, make sure you find Ramiro on, what's your Instagram? Whittier Woodworks?
Whittier Woodworks on Instagram. No Facebook, but they can reach out through their DM. They can reach our email at whittierwoodworks@gmail.com.
Fantastic. What's going on? And where are you going to be at next? What's the next shows you're going to be at?
So right now I'm making a couple of boards for a couple of different restaurants. So I'm focusing on that right now. But I believe the next one would be in September. If anything, when they follow us on Instagram, we always try to post up wherever we're going to be. I know we've done that. We saw you guys at the Wednesday night market in Uptown. We always try to do the art stroll in Uptown. That's the second Wednesday of every month. And we try to stay a couple of different local. We have another one in Duarte coming up in September. And so right now during the summer, I try to keep busy with bigger orders and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Can you name any of the restaurants that you're doing work for right now on the Raised Flavors podcast exclusive? Yeah,
we're tentatively making some. He sent me a picture. It was Eric from La Bodega Brewery in Uptown.
Oh, nice.
It's like a skillet box. So he sent me a picture, and it's a wooden box, and it has a skillet plate for like fajitas on top. And it's crazy because it has a little drawer. So you pull the little drawer out and it has tortillas in there. So that way you have your tortillas in like a box. It's super. I don't know if you've ever been.
So there's a metal skillet on top of this box, and then you put the tortillas in there?
Yeah. So the box, it's like a little drawer, and then you pull the handle out, the drawer out, and the tortillas are inside the box. So it's like when they serve it to you, and they serve it to you in a box with the skillet on top, and obviously meat or whatever you order your fajitas, and you pull that out, and then the tortillas are inside.
So this is to serve his customers with.
Correct. If you've never been there, it's a really nice.
Where is this at? Where is it?
It's off of Comstock and Bailey. It's like a speakeasy feel for it. So if you look at it from the front, it looks like a butcher shop, and then you go in, and then you walk through the freezer door, and inside it's like a beautiful restaurant.
What? You're walking through a freezer, and then all of a sudden you're what the?
Yeah, it's a freezer door. So you give him your password, and then you go in, and then it's beautiful. Like when I first met him, he was asking about beer flight boards. So we made them their beer flight boards. And then when I went in, I was like, a butcher shop, and we went like, holy shit, it's really nice. It's very, very intricate design and everything. Looks really nice.
That's crazy. It's called La Bodega?
Correct. La Bodega Brewery in off of Comstock and Bailey.
Comstock and Bailey. We got to check that out. La Bodega Brewery in Uptown Whittier at Comstock and Bailey. That's crazy. And then the every other week, the art walk in Uptown Whittier. And then you also are doing a bunch of exclusive pieces for restaurants. I mean, big restaurants. This is incredible.
Yeah. So we're doing a big order for Crudo's restaurant there in El Monte, but they're going to open up in Uptown too. So we're doing like their sushi boards, there are some serving boards. We're doing for another restaurant in Pomona, Culichi Roll. We've done work for the Commoner. We've done some boards for them. We've done some work for the brewery, the Whittier Brewing Company, for Spin. So I'm very fortunate. Like I've been able to work with a lot of local restaurants, which is always really nice.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of restaurants popping up in Uptown. So you're gonna have a lot of good business up there.
Hopefully.
That's awesome. Ramiro, thank you so much for coming to the show, my brother. Appreciate you. And make sure you find this guy, the Whittier Woodworks, on Instagram and his Facebook page. What was the Facebook page again?
No Facebook.
No Facebook. We're gonna get the Facebook tomorrow. We're gonna start tonight on it. We're gonna type it in and put the logo up there. Facebook page for Ramiro, Whittier Woodworks. This guy does some amazing work. He's already crazy busy, but hit him up. Hit him in the DM. You can do anything you want: cutting boards, charcuterie boards, boards, all kinds of boards, anything to do with woods. That's Whittier Woodworks with Ramiro. This guy is getting it done with the wood. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Raised Flames Podcast Network. Continue to listen, and don't forget, you can do just like Jeremy Alvarez does, just like Adrian White does, just like Sal Orozco does. He hit the support button link in the description of the show, and guess what? Bingo bango, there was a nice donation from my friends Sal Orozco, Adrian White, and Jeremy Alvarez. You too can do that for as little as $1 a month, and we would be happy to have you do that because that would help the show. Look at all this stuff that we do for you guys, all this killer content. We want to keep bringing that to you, so don't forget to hit that support button. But nonetheless, even if you don't, all we want is for you to listen. Keep listening to the Raised Flames Podcast, and thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.